This place is ridiculous. Look at that. Look at that. It was crazy. I gotta get out of this wind. I'm gonna naturally go run into the van shortly and upload the pictures, but here's your behind the scenes of the breakers at Newport, Rhode Island. It's nuts. It's almost, and I never thought I'd say this about a house, it's almost too much. Where is it? There it is. It's like it's kind of excessive. And I guess that's what the Gilded Age was all about, right? Is that you just had, because you weren't paying an income tax, so you could just do whatever you wanted. I mean, they had so much money, it was stupid. So, and I didn't know this, but the term Gilded Age, I think they said Mark Twain came up with that, and it was not a compliment. Gilded is a reference to like a gold covering, sort of a veneer. And so the point there was that, yeah, it's beautiful on the outside, but if you scratch below the surface of all these Gilded Age beauties, you see social and economic inequality in extremes. And that's true, and people are coming, so I'm gonna walk this way so I don't feel uncomfortable about talking to myself. So Cornelius Vanderbilt, that's his money, and he started with like a little ferry and then built a railroad empire. And if you build an empire, like, you deserve all the respect in the world, right? That's fine. But it's like all these guys, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, JP Morgan, they did amazing things, but it like in a really messed up way. Cornelius would shut down bridges if, say, Rockefeller didn't agree to his terms. They would issue fake common stock of companies. They would like screw with the stock market to start a recession. And the common worker, like the guys working for these men, was like screwed. I mean, the conditions were absolutely terrible, especially Carnegie. Carnegie with his steel empire. I mean, those guys were like falling into molten lava in the ladles, and like, there was no OSHA. Anyway, moving on, get away from all these people. So when you go inside, and these pictures will blow your mind, but you're like, your neck is hurting because every room is just so ridiculous. It is insane. Almost like gaudy, almost too much. They've had 40 million people visit the building, and that's kind of what ruins it. And here's what I mean. When you have this many people trying to come into a tourist attraction, they do away with like human tours, and it's all the audio tour thing. So you're walking around this gargantuan home with a bunch of tourists, and they're all going, they have the headsets on, and they're holding their phone, and they're like, and like no one's talking to one another, and there's nobody you can ask questions to, and they just, and I don't really like that, because sometimes, a lot of times when you're on a tour, you'll get like a relative or a descendant, or like when I did the steel tour in Pittsburgh, and there were some guys that worked in steel factories, and so I just think it's like, I really like interactive tours, so that's kind of a bummer. Otherwise, it was fine. They have cameras in every single room, and like a full-blown CIA level security team that if you break a rule, like somebody comes out of nowhere, I must have gotten in trouble at least 6 times in there. They were like, ma'am, please don't go underneath the red rope to take a photo. Snap. Ma'am. And then on the staircase, ma'am, there's no photos on the staircase. Snap. Ma'am. I mean, it was like all I could do. I'm like, y'all are in like high school. What are you gonna do? I can kick your ass. So it was pretty good. So I got the extended tour, which is 5 houses, and I'm not going to make all of them today, but that just means that I get to spend a little more time here. But I'm so excited for you to see the photos. It's absolutely amazing. If you get up to Newport, Rhode Island, this is definitely worth your stay. However, overnight camping spots are sparse, so I'm again having to stealth it, which I do not enjoy doing, and it's hard to stealth when you're still coughing pretty hard all night long. Must look pretty odd on the outside of the van. So I'm gonna take a couple more shots around the outside, and then some silly boy here asked for my phone number. He said he worked in construction. He wanted to get a beer, and I'm like, yeah, no to the beer, but I will go on one of these house tours with you so that I can ask you all the questions I can't get these damn non-tour guides to give me. I'm not trying to marry this man. I don't think he'll take me up on it, but whatever. Anyway, it's a babe bus, not a shaggin' wagon. Okay, I'm gonna get to this, but be on the lookout for those photos. Unfortunately, with Patreon, I cannot publish multiple photos, so I'm gonna have to send a link, but the link will take you to the website where they are, and I'm stoked for y'all to see them. So I'll talk to you later.